Hi, my name's John G. I'm a fentanyl addict in early recovery, and I wanted to share about the topic of our big book study last night. Was chapter 4 of We Agnostics, and we went over some of the basic benefits of a higher power, what the higher power can do for you in your life. We talked about how we lack power. That's our dilemma, is that our obsession to use to escape our own emotion is greater than our own willpower, and that as the book suggests, we need to come to rely upon a higher power to draw power off of something that can get us through where our will was insufficient. And I just want to share that I really like the analogy that the book gives about electricity. Well, first off, that as it says in the steps, that we only need to be willing to believe that higher power, to believe in that higher power. We don't actually need to have a specific idea of that higher power. It doesn't need to be any kind of organized religion in particular. It doesn't need to mean that we have to be Christian or Catholic, or that we have to have any specific gods, that we don't have to believe in Jesus. I'm a grateful follower of Jesus Christ myself, and I'm proud of that, but that what your higher power is to each individual can be completely different. Just that you are willing to believe, I think, is that only requirement to begin your steps. And I find that interesting. But the analogy that they gave in We Agnostics, the chapter's kind of trying to convince people just to find something, just to find a grasp of the concept that we are not the top of the food chain. Once we are able to break through that idea that I am the end all be all, it kind of lets go of a certain element of ego and of self-righteousness that kind of humbles you and puts you in a position to be willing to do the rest of the steps. I like that. I also wanted to share about, again, the electricity analogy, that, electricity is all around us all the time. It's performing work and helping us accomplish things as far as like getting the lights on, having the air conditioning working, things of that nature, but we don't see it. It exists out of our perception. Same thing with the air moving. It's like I'd feel the effects of wind blowing on me when moving down the freeway in my car. I stick my hand out the window, I feel the wind, but I don't see it. It's just examples of forces that are working in our lives on a regular basis that we don't tangibly see, touch, taste, feel, hear, but they're there. I like this analogy because it helps me to build faith in things unseen, or I guess faith is belief in things that are unseen. I gain that faith, that trust, that there are forces at work that are greater than my understanding, that I can draw upon to help me through hard times with all my cravings, all of my triggers, all the things that have me feeling bad about myself, or making me start to think about how nice it would be to escape. I really like where chapter 4 takes us in kind of diving into, just helping us to ask the main questions, the important questions in our life, like, why do I have this adversity towards the concept of a higher power? I think most of us addicts and alcoholics have struggled with this thought of a higher power, and it's usually that victimhood, in my personal experience, the victimhood mentality that, how could there be a God and let all these horrible things happen to me? And when I'm in that position of, how could an all-powerful, encompassing, loving creator of the universe allow for such devastation, such tragedy, such misery, pain, and suffering? I find that I have a lot of parallels between that victimhood mentality and everything else in my life. Well, why me? Why me? Why is it this way? If this exists, then why is this happening? I get out of that when I start to find things to be grateful for. I get myself into an attitude of gratitude, and I start to realize that the universe is really trying to work for me and with me instead of against me. And just the words that I say are so powerful to myself. If I'm living in a state of ingratitude, or I'm feeling the victimhood mentality creeping in, then I'm telling myself a lot of negativity, a lot of negative things that are really having a really bad effect on my day-to-day life. It's the butterfly effect is real. It just one thing stems off another, and then all of a sudden it's why me about the lines at a fast food place, or how I have to wait for this, and it's all about the little things in life these days. I really am watching how the little things affect me, because they create the bigger things. If I'm really frustrated about waiting in line at the gas station, then that frustration is going to trickle down into all other areas of my life, and at the end of the day, I'm so miserable, I'm so discontent that it's only a matter of time before I've had so much of this that I can't take anymore. So yeah, I got kind of off topic there, but We Agnostics, great chapter. I suggest you guys read it if you have any insights to follow up upon, anything that you can add. It'd be greatly appreciated. Thank you very much.